Hello and welcome to Farming Simulator 17. I'm Andy and this is the Let's Play on the Shamrock Valley map. And I've done a bit since last episode. One of the things I'm doing now is I'm plowing. So I've been plowing started plowing on field 1. I'm gonna plow field 3 later, but I'm on 1 for currently. We are on the next day, so I brought all of the silage bales, all of the hay bales back to the farm, and I actually spent money buying animals. Which was kind of cool. So I bought 12 cows, which was basically what I could afford. I also had to spend some money buying food mixer because I couldn't get the food. I could get hay in, but the straw I couldn't get into the barn, basically. So I had to buy something to do that. So I bought a Goweil from Black Sheep Bonding. I got one of those. Link is in the description as always. So I got one of those, and then I could turn the straw bales into straw and then disperse it into the barn. So now the animals have what they need. I also try, as you can see or notice, I'm not using seasons mod, and that's because I couldn't get it to work. I don't know why. I'm gonna see if I have to put this in a separate folder and try it that way. But I tried the seasons mod. I tried it with just seasons mod. I tried it with different sort of geodata, but nothing worked. I couldn't get seasons mod to work, basically, which was kind of a shame. I just it's sort of like sometimes when you get mod conflicts, you start the game or start the map, start trying to load the map, and I did that, but nothing was, just sort of loading and loading and loading forever. Nothing was happening. So that was sort of a shame. I couldn't get it to load or work. So nothing. I'm doing this without GPS because it's an older style tractor. The only things we have are older style tractors, and we don't have any GPS or computers on them. So I have to do this manually, which is interesting because it's not that easy to keep a straight line. Turns out. I'm doing an okay job with it. I'm gonna do headland later, last, to get this stuff fixed that I missed. But it's not the easiest thing to do to keep it straight line, unfortunately. But I'm doing my best. I think I'm doing a fair job anyway. With the steering wheel, it's just keeping it centered. The problem is, you kind of, if you start swerving at one point, then you tend to have the same problem the entire line. So keeping it straight is not that simple. I'm trying. I also discovered one thing. If get out, that could actually, I think it's, let's see, where's it? No, it wasn't this. No, oh no, sorry. It was on the Deutz. You can actually remove the fenders on it. From the outside, you have to go walk up them to the side of them, and then you stand by the fenders, and they will be. You can remove them. I think it was numpad 7, if I'm not misremembering. A little hard to do this line this way because the exhaust is sort of in the way of where you want to look on the hood to keep a straight line. Oh, that was crappy backing up. Sorry. What else is going on in the world? Oh, we still don't have a government in Sweden. We elected a parliament, but none of the sides. We have. Well, we don't. We have. Let's see how many parties do we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. We have 8 parties in parliament. And they're divided sort of into 2 blocks. Or there's one, the Sweden Democrats, they're sort of alone, but the other ones are divided into blocks, and neither of the blocks. They have the left block, which is, I don't know what you call. Well, I guess in like American, compared to American politics, is very left. Compared to other countries, it's not that left, but they are made up by the Social Democrats, Left Party, and the Environmental Party, the Green Party. So they have 144 parliament leaders on their side, and the right party, which I don't know if it's that right compared to other countries, but it's sort of the right party. That's made of the Christian Democrats, the Liberals, the Center Party, and the Moderates, Moderata, I don't know how you would translate it, Conservatives maybe. They have 143 votes of members of parliament, so it's very close, and neither of them, the 349 spots in the parliament, neither one of them have a majority. So either the only way they could rule is by getting the support of the Sweden Democrats, which none of them want, because Sweden Democrats don't want to give their support unless they get something, and they're a bunch of racists. I'm not sorry. They have a party program that says they're racist. Talk about the essence of people, and that's born, and you can't do anything about it, and that makes you Swedish and stuff. I'm sorry, it's racist. People then vote for them don't want to look at themselves as racist, which is fair enough. I don't think people that vote for them are racist, but their politics is racist. Anyway, enough about that. That was my point. Anyway, so neither of the sides want to govern with the support of the Sweden Democrats, mostly because they don't want to give them any leverage or any sort of opportunity to do their politics, which they don't agree with. Nej, inte nu. Du får vänta lite i så fall tills jag har spelat in klart. Let's see, where blocks. So the blocks don't have a majority. So either they can get either one of the blocks needs to break up, and they can govern with a new sort of constellation of parties, or they need to support each other somehow, and neither one wants to do that without. Well, both sides want to govern, basically. They want to have a government, both the sides, with the Prime Minister and ministers and that stuff. So it's sort of locked. It might actually be another election, just to figure this one out, even though no one really believes that will change anything. Because they think people will probably vote the same thing as they voted last time, so. So anyway, so we don't have a government. It's not a problem. We still have the budget. Apparently, you can the budget we had from before the election. It can just be prolonged, so it's not a problem. They thought about pretty much everything when they did the constitution. They redid the constitution sort of in early 70s, so I think it's from 74. We, on contrary to, say, the United States, we change our constitution when it's needed. That's not a problem. It's just harder to change the constitution. It takes a decision from Parliament, and then an election and then another decision to change it, but it's possible if it's in agreement, which I think is good. I don't think having not, I mean, so you will run into problems if you don't have the ability to change your constitution, because time change. For instance, like if we had a second amendment, that would have changed because, well, time changes and there's no point in people having arms. Anyway, so people are all a bit outraged that, oh, why don't they take, it's undemocratic not to use the Sweden Democrats and give them power, but I figure it's not democratic. If the other parties agree not to give them any powers, then it's a part of democracy. And people go like, oh, well, 17% voted for them. Yeah, 17% voted for them, that's true. And but that's not the way democracy works. Democracy works with the largest group deciding. And in a way, I think this is probably I don't know how it'll end up, but this is probably the opportunity for having the most democratic ruling in Sweden in a long time, because the only way that the both sides, left and right, can govern is by compromising with each other. So this way, both sides will get, well, they probably get less power. That is, the right side will have less to decide. They can decide less because the left side will have to agree with it, and the left side have on the other way around. But in my point of view, that's pretty awesome, because that means that the most people in Sweden, except 70%, that is, will get sort of, the decisions of parliament will reflect what 83% of the population think is good. And that's not usually the case. Usually it swings back and forth. So if the right-wing parties have control, they will decide. Let's say they have 54%. Then 54% of the voters' idea of what's good for Sweden will come into play. But and the other way around, if the left has the 54, then it's the same thing there. But this way, they actually have to sort of agree on stuff, which means that one thing is that they will be able to decide less things. That is, they won't be able to change as much. And people might think that's a bad thing. I'm not so sure about that. I think that could be actually a pretty good thing, because that way it won't be just ideology. It will be what parties can agree on, basically. So things that will change will be definitely good for Sweden. So things that can be agreed on will be good for Sweden, because both sides will agree on it, basically. So that's one thing. God, I had another point. Lost it. So anyway, I think that there's actually pretty good, from a democratic viewpoint, if they do agree on this, or get some sort of agreement, this will be the most democratic ruling of Sweden we've seen in, well, probably since the dawn of modern democracy here. I don't know if the politician will agree with me, but I think it is. So of course, the 70% that doesn't like the immigrants, then they won't have as much power. But hey, we do have we actually do have a constitution, and we are a part of the European Union, and we are a part of all international agreements that govern human rights. And I'm sorry, their party program doesn't hold up to human rights. They try to pretend it does, but it doesn't. I'm sorry. I mean, you can think whatever you want about immigrants, but Sweden has a pretty dark history when it comes to immigration. We have had pretty much no problems accepting immigrants when it was in our favor, sort of, when after World War II. We stayed out of the World War II. Well, actually, it should be that way. Sorry, I've been switching it around all the wrong way. Like that, it should be like that. We had no problems with immigration when it was in our best, so we had a lot of immigrants after World War II, just in the 60s and 70s, just to keep our country running. And since we weren't a part of European World War II, we also had a lot of people in Sweden that liked the Nazis, so. But we weren't a part of that war. Meant that we had a capacity to gain from all the money that needed to be spent rebuilding Europe after World War II. So our wealth is a lot of part of other people's misery, i.e. the people or states that were in War II in a more, what do you say, more active way. Getting close. I'm gonna finish this. It seemed like we're never gonna finish this. It was a big field. So anyway, sorry about my rant, but from my perspective, is that Sweden has the I think last 4 years is probably one of the most democratic parts of our history. Other people might disagree, but I think so, and I think there's a potential that the next 4 years could be also a very democratic time in Sweden, in the sense that the politics that will actually govern how Sweden is run in practical terms will be the policies that affect most Swedes in a positive light. So that's kind of cool, I think. So I'm not as pessimistic, or I don't think the future is that dark as other people might give an impression of it being. I think things are pretty good. Yeah, I sort of agree with Professor Rosling there. The late Professor Rosling, would say. Anyway, I talked about that before. Mind gap. No, what's not mind. Oh, I forgot the word. Suddenly, what is it called? Gapminder. Sorry, Gapminder, not mind gap. Gapminder. I think I did put that in the links to that episode. Gapminder and the science about people being utterly stupid when it comes to changes, and over-exaggerating negative things and under-exaggerating good things. There's a lot of turning going on here. Let's see what else is going on. Well, so I don't know why the seasons mod didn't work. Wish it did work. And it's something conflicting. I don't think, because I've seen other people playing seasons mod with this map, so it shouldn't be that. It should work because other people are playing it. I think Dagwin plays with seasons mod on it, so it should work. But as I said, I don't know why it didn't work. Otherwise, I guess I have to run it without seasons mod. That's okay too. Me and my 12 cows. 12 cows is not a lot. I'm thinking we should have like 30 cows or something. That would be awesome. But then I don't know if I could actually I could install the SOB seasons. This is a seasons mod I used to play a lot with, which doesn't do much except it says that one day is spring and one day is summer and that sort of stuff. But it makes a little bit feel. You know, I think I'll install that. It does make feel a little bit like there's some sort of seasons going on. Almost done, and then we need to do the headland, and then we have done this field. It did take quite a few hours yesterday to do this. Okay, this is good. Got a 10% increase in productivity, which is good. We're gonna plant this. We have a cedar left, so we're gonna plant it with barley or wheat, I think. We need to get some sort of cheap combine, I guess. I need to plant this with barley or wheat, so we can get some straw. My idea is not to use to buy a bale mod on this Let's Play, but actually to play it and get animals and support animals by our farming. Almost done here. Then we need to do headland. This one here. Like so. Ta på dig kläder då. Det är mitt tips. För du får sätta på dig kläder. Om du fryser får du ju sätta på dig kläder. Du är jättekall, men du behöver ju ta på dig kläder. Ta på dig dina kläder i så fall om du fryser. Det är det enda som finns. Ja, det finns massa kläder vid soffan. Ta på dig dem eller en filt. För ja, om du fryser så mycket som jag så behöver du ta på dig kläder. Det är det enda sättet att lösa det. This is my daughter, by the way. Ja, jag har ingen fläkt. Vet du vad? För jag håller på att spela in. Jag bad dem få spela in, eller hur? Ta på dig kläder. Men ta på dig kläder eller en filt. Du vet det här. Det här är inte något nytt. Jo, du kan gå och sätta dig i badet om du vill. Yeah, that's for sure. My daughter came in and says she's really cold. I was like, well, get some clothes on. She like, oh, I want a big fan, a warm fan. I was like, okay, I want a big fan. It's like, and then and she's finally, I thought I had an idea that she probably wants something else. So that why she would just get a blanket on herself or grab some clothes. But then it turned out she wanted to go sit in a hot tub, which I sort of like figured. I thought that was the idea from the beginning. So now and then she's just really happy. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go bathing and you're the best dad ever. It's like, yeah, I'm not the best dad. My thoughts are like, I don't think so. I don't think she is funny. They say that sometimes, oh, the best ever. And then 5 minutes later it's like, you're the worst ever. It's like, okay. So being a parent, I don't know. I think they call this aged small teenage. Or something, young teenage years or something. It's like a mini teenager. I guess teenagers are worse, much worse, but this is not very easy. Anyway, so headland seems to be working pretty okay. probably run like 1 lap. I think that's probably sufficient. Go here and there and everywhere. And we're almost done. So we have done field number 1 is ready when it comes to plowing. Yay. So now we're gonna head over to field number 3. But I think I'm gonna get the animals some food. Or maybe I'll do that on next episode. I'm gonna do that on next episode. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm Andy. This has been Let's Play on Shamrock Valley, where I've been plowing, just plowing away. And I'll see you next episode. If you like this channel, please subscribe. If you like this episode, please hit like button, leave a comment or share. I will see you next time. Bye bye everyone. Have a great day.